that I think we have one of the most legendary, beloved Seminole football players of all time, maybe Florida State graduates. This young man came to us from Baton Rouge, Louisiana in the summer of 1993. He didn't know anybody much here. He got assigned to a certain fifth-year quarterback who had been here for 5 years, and he would go on to win the Heisman Trophy. The two of them that year would win Bobby Bowden his first national championship in 1993. Warrick Dunn went on to set the career rushing record at Florida State, which still stands. He set the single game rushing record, which has held for 21 years and should be good for at least another hour and a half. Maybe an hour and 35 minutes. We'll talk a little bit about that. Warrick was a three-time All-ACC tailback. He was a three-time academic All-ACC tailback as well. He was, of course, an All-American. His number 28 jersey was retired. He's an FSU Hall of Famer. When he graduated from Florida State, he became the 12th pick in the first round of the NFL draft. He went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a Buck and an Atlanta Falcon. Warrick was a three-time All-Pro player. He rushed for more than almost 15, I want to get it right. He rushed for almost 12,000 yards. He caught over 500 passes for almost 5,000 yards. And I got on Google Maps yesterday, and I calculated how far is 15,000 yards from here. I'll tell you where it goes to. It goes to the north part of the parking lot, north of Tallahassee in Bradfordville at the Walmart. That's 15,000 yards from here, and that's with a lot of fast, big people chasing you. Warrick Dunn was voted the NFL Man of the Year 3 times. He was also voted by Sporting News to be the #1 good guy in sports. If there is a better graduate of Florida State or better representative, I don't know. He's right up there with it. Would you welcome, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Warrick Dunn.
How you guys doing? Well, I appreciate you guys coming out to see me. This is crazy. So this is crazy. You guys are crazy. This is crazy. This is Florida State. You're right.
Warrick, thank you for coming down. Warrick drove down from Atlanta last night. He's a busy guy, but he wanted to come see you all. So I'll throw the softballs out to you, okay? So why did you come to Florida State?
Well, in 1993, I just lost my mom 2 days after my 18th birthday, and every school was recruiting me to play defensive back, and I didn't want to play defensive back. And when Coach Bowden came to Baton Rouge, you know, I just said, Coach, I would love to come to Florida State, but I want to play running back. And he made a deal with me that day. He said, hey, if you can come to Florida State, you can play running back. If it don't work out, you have to play defensive back. So it all worked out. It worked out.
All right, Warrick, you had a certain fifth-year senior quarterback as a roommate. What was Charlie Ward like to you as a mentor, a friend, and a quarterback?
Well, I think, you know, at that particular time I was going through so much emotionally just after losing my mom and being the oldest of 6. He was someone that I was able to, you know, just talk about life. Someone we had similar mannerisms. We were both laid back and quiet in a sense, and we did talk in the room. Most people don't think we talked, but we did talk in the room, and you know, he was there for me because, you know, he's been through, he was a 5th-year senior. He was able to sit and listen to me when I talked. You know, it's times I got emotional. I mean, when it was family day, it was, you know, the seniors go out and their moms here. It was just an emotional time, and he was someone that I could sit in the room and I can talk. And if I started crying, he didn't judge me. He really helped me, keep it together. And being a freshman, being away from home, and I'm worried about the younger ones. I mean, he was someone that I can definitely, sound off on and get some advice about life.
Pretty good roommate selection right there. That is a wonderful story. Now, Warrick, when you came right over here, were you a DB for any days here in the beginning? I heard maybe rumor that Mickey Andrews tried to grab you.
Well, Mickey talked to me, but I wasn't having it. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to hit anybody. I wanted to make guys miss and score touchdowns. And the crazy thing is, people don't know this. I was last on the depth chart, and going out there, Ty McMillan that year, he blew his kneecap on the first day. We were in shorts, and a couple other guys had some ankle injuries, and all of a sudden now I have to go in against the first team defense, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are huge. And believe it or not, I started running for my life from that point on. It's been history ever since. So
we're glad you ran for your life.
I'm playing Coach Sexton.
We're going to get Coach Sexton here ready. Now, there is a play in Florida State football lore. It's simply known as Warrick Dunn. You tell anybody Warrick Dunn and they know about that play. Let me set the scene for you. It's 1993. These guys have done really well. I think we're 10-1 at that point. But if we win in Gainesville, we go on to play in the national championship. If we win, maybe his roommate wins the Heisman Trophy, but if we don't, maybe it doesn't happen. We were up by 3 touchdowns, and then the old Gators started coming back on us. And it got to be 26-21, and I was in that corner, and there was a wave of emotion that you could just see. Old Mo, as Keith Jackson would say, he had moved from this side of the field to that side, momentum. And so Florida scored again. It's 26-21. They kick off to us. We bring it back to the 21. Charlie throws 2 passes that somebody got in the way of. And then it's 3rd and 10 from the 21. And most people will tell you that, I don't use that term, Florida Field was the loudest it had ever been. I remember my old friend TK next to me. We couldn't talk to you. You couldn't talk to anybody. So it's 3rd and 10 from the 21. Now, I want to bring back Warrick. You mentioned him. I want to bring back an old friend because he's going to do a visual when we're going to do Gene Deckerhoff. Would you welcome Warrick's coach, 30 years as our running back coach, Billy Sexton. Billy is from Tallahassee, All-America high school quarterback. He did a reverse Jacob Coker. He went to Alabama and then transferred back to Florida State. All right, Billy, so it's 3rd and 10 from the 21. Tell us what happened just before that play.
I couldn't even hear myself talk. And Warrick is sitting right here after 1st down and 2nd down. And Mark Richt called the play. And Sean Jackson's in the game. And I go, Warrick, go in the game. He couldn't even hear me. I had to scream it in his ear. It was so loud. Anybody, raise your hand if you were at that game. You couldn't hear yourself whistle. So he runs in there. Sean Jackson comes out of the game. And on November 27th, 1993, we snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. If it wasn't for number 17, where's number 17? If it wasn't for him and this young man right here, I don't think we'd have won that football game. But it went from the loudest stadium in America to the quietest. Amen, baby.
All right, we're going to reenact that. Now, you all got a part to do. At the right time on this call, I want y'all to be quiet in the beginning and picture yourself in the corner of that end zone, and then you need to yell and cheer profusely. Can y'all all handle that? All right, we're going to hear Gene Deckerhoff is waiting right now. Janie's going to make our call. Now, the man closest, there were not that many Gators close to Warrick on the play, but the man closest to it was Billy Sexton. Billy, as you look back at the video, apparently was not sure Warrick knew which way the end zone was. So Billy spent about 25 yards with a wind-up showing it to him. So I've asked Billy, he's going to reenact the part of Billy Sexton in Gainesville with his prize tailback running up the sidelines and making sure he knows which way to go. All right, Randy, are you guys ready to cheer? Yeah, okay. Warrick's not going to actually run. Randy, let's hear from Gene Deckerhoff.
three wide receivers now with Pryor to the near side. Ward takes the snap. Play action. Drops. Looks. Popped into the pocket. Runs to his left. Throws it downfield. And is caught by Dunn. He's got the first down to the 40. Down to the 50. Down to the sideline to the 40. Down to the 30.
Score! Score! Score!
Crazy.
He's still crazy. Coach Billy Sexton, what was it like to coach Warrick Dunn for 4 years?
It was an honor just to know this guy. He and Charlie Ward are two of the finest human beings I've ever been around. All of us that are fans in Seminoles, it's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. These folks right here.
Big hand for Billy Sexton. All right, WD, so what do you remember about Ward to Dunn?
That I didn't run the right route. Well, it was the right route. I was too deep. It was supposed to be a 5-yard out. I was probably at 10, and I almost hit Tamarick Vanover. But, you know, things happen for a reason, right? So I was just running, playing street ball, and we made it happen.
And I want to tell you, and Lord love him, Michael Gilmore, who's a doctor now, number 35 for Florida, he tried in vain to chase Warrick. Warrick just sort of looked back, said, "You ain't catching me." And we were in that corner just saying, "Come on down this way, come on down this way." It was a lot of fun. Warrick Dunn, what did Bobby Bowden mean to you here?
Coach Bowden, you know, for me, he was a father figure. He had an open door policy that I took advantage of. I used to go to his office all the time in between class and just talk to him about life, you know, trying to raise teenagers, being the oldest at 18, trying to raise some teenagers back home. I'm trying to discipline from afar. So you only can imagine that didn't work. But, you know, being on the phone with my family every night and sisters that are, I had a sister at that time that was a teenager, another one, you know, she was the baby, she was 9 years old. Just trying to figure out, you know, how do I handle the girls, but also I have younger brothers that were just going crazy. So I used to go to Coach Bowden and try to get fatherly advice. I asked him, you know, what did you do with your kids? And he used to always tell me stories of how he disciplined his kids, and I took his examples and I tried to at least not do the exact same thing, because I think that was a little ancient history for me. But I just took some of those examples, and you know, that helped me formulate my ideas on what I wanted to do and how, you know, I wanted to try to steal some of those values that he taught me. So, I mean, Coach Bowden, I mean, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. I mean, he taught me a lot about life, you know, God first, you know, work ethic, hard work, dedication, commitment. He had all those things, but he did it with such class, and he never cheated the game. So I'm just thankful that I have opportunity to play for him.
And you know, we're all going to see Bobby Bowden today. Florida State and the Bobby Dodd Foundation are going to celebrate the 35th anniversary of him winning the Bobby Dodd Award. So you're going to see the great Bobby Bowden today. We'll have Bobby Bowden and Charlie Ward and Warrick Dunn on the field at the same time. I didn't say Peter Warrick. I was about
to say Peter Warrick.
I wasn't going to say that. He does have his own cheer, though. I got to tell you that.
Oh, you know, I was better. He had some great times. I mean, well, you know, when Peter and I played together, we sat on the sideline. I mean, he had Warrick and it was Dunn. We sat next to each other and spread out. I mean, how many guys can really say that, right? I was lucky and special, but Peter, he's a great athlete, but trust me, I was better.
Y'all like competitive spirit?
All day.
All day long. All right, Warrick, you got a lot of great games. What was your favorite FSU game? Is there one?
Man, that's a tough one. I had too many great games. I mean,
Why don't we just say all of them were real good? How about that?
I remember all, you know, I'm such, I critique myself so much that I remember the bad games, right? So that ugly game in Virginia that Thursday night. Let me just tell you for the record, it was a touchdown. And I'm only saying that because I know I was tripping, but I took ball and I threw ball first to the goal line. And it's a home call, but it was great for them, and I hated it. And I was part of the first team to lose in ACC, so I'm sorry that it's
Do we forgive Warrick? Is that okay? You're forgiven, sir. You're all right. Warrick, let me see. GA from Milton, are you here? Raise your hand. Is Greg here? He was supposed to be here. He's coming to the ball game. All right. Greg Allen from Milton is a wonderful Seminole who's making his way. He wanted to see you today, and you broke his career rushing record. There's another guy who's running today. Let's talk just a minute. I think you've seen him in person once or twice. And by about 140 today, one of those little records might just, be broken by a guy named Dalvin Cook.
I don't know if I like Dalvin anymore.
Well, just act like you're an analyst, not his friend. What do you think about number 4 for Florida State?
No, I love to watch him play. I mean, he's attacking. He shows, we're two different type of runners, but he's more downhill. He's patient and he's explosive. And I mean, he's really just taking what the defense gives him, but he shows a lot of mobility. I just, for me, you want to see if a guy can continue on that pace. I mean, we're running him a lot, right? I mean, you want him to continue to produce and play at a high level, but he's as gifted as they come as a running back, in my opinion.
That's a pretty good endorsement. Let me ask you, let me get closer to home. Y'all may not, Warrick is a partner and owner of the Atlanta Falcons now in his business career. So let's talk about people you work with.
No tickets, no free tickets. Business.
Tell us about a little tailback for the Falcons named Devonta Freeman.
Devontae, this year, just been able to watch him and talk to him a little bit. I mean, he's really starting to come into his own. And I think, after I was yelling at him for a whole year last year, in the off season this year, I was able to sit in the running backs room and really critique those guys on how they was, what he was seeing, how he was reading. But we started running a similar offense that he ran at Florida State, so he had some familiarity with it. And from that, he was worried about, okay, if I don't hit the home run, then I'm gonna come out of the game. And when Telvin Coleman was injured for those games, he was able to just relax and get a good feel for the game. So he got in and he really just started taking control, pressing the line of scrimmage. And he's shown some explosiveness that I didn't see here at Florida State, but he's been able to break a lot of tackles. He's a strong, little, stocky guy that has some ability to get in open field and make guys miss. So, he's really coming into his own. It's just a matter of, can he stay healthy in the pro level, and can he continue to produce when they call your number in that crunch time in the playoffs? So let's just hope he stays healthy and we can continue winning football games.
Devonta certainly, and hopefully one day we'll be able to, maybe it'll be a long time away because we want him to work weekends for a long time now, but Devonta Freeman is a great young man too, and I hope we can meet him one day here. Warrick, you played at something a little bit short of 180 pounds. Coach Bowden somebody asked Coach Bowden, how Warrick doesn't ever seem to get hurt, why is that? And in his Alabama way, Coach Bowden said, well, Warrick, he folds well. He folds well. I always remember that one. But Warrick Dunn, how did you played with a lot of big people, how did you avoid getting hurt?
Well, I was actually like 160 something. Okay, let me be honest with you. I used to try to put weights in my warm-ups and stuff and get on the scale so I'll be a little bit heavier. But I used to always get down in a fetal position on the football field. I mean, for me, that helped protect me. Guys were always going to be bigger than me. I mean, playing football since I was 7 years old, I was always playing against bigger guys. So I had to protect myself. And I never tried to fight hits, run through them. I always gave with the hits. So sometimes it looked ugly, but I was also taught live for another down. So I was living for the next down, but when I was in those piles, I was always balling up, getting in the fetal position. So that's my signature move.
So, I think this is inspiring. So, like if you got a bad day at home or at work one day, just think Warrick Dunn and get in the fetal position. And I think you're going to be okay.
Don't listen to Doug.
No. Warrick, you left Florida State, you got a degree, but in Atlanta, not too long ago, this guy went back and got a master's degree from Emory University in business. Tell us, what was your thought process, and why did you do that?
Well, looking back on it, I'm happy, but when I was going through it, I was like, what the hell was I doing? I mean, it was crazy. But when I became a limited partner with the Falcons, I was sitting in the meetings, limited partner meetings, and Mr. Blank, who's a billionaire, another guy, 500 million, and these words are just flying over my head. I'm just like, I need some help. I didn't want to continue asking the guy next to me, like, what are you guys talking about? What's going on? So I just took it upon myself that I wanted to go and learn more about business. So I went and applied on my own to Emory, did the interview process, wrote all the essays, and I got into Emory, and then I told my limited partners, and the only thing they told me is that, why didn't you tell me? I could have got you into school. It's like, well, I didn't want to use you guys. I wanted to stand on my own 2 feet, but I also wanted to earn their respect. And I think going background, I
And a degree from Emory is something really to be proud of. I don't know if they invite you back for Emory football, but...
well, they're undefeated right now.
They're a very good school. Warrick, let's take just a minute here. A lot of you know something about it, but Homes for the Holidays and Warrick Dunn Charities are wonderful things. All right, we're going to get a little evangelical here just a minute. Warrick, tell us about Homes for the Holidays. What's your mission? So everybody may not know. Tell us what your charity does.
Well, it's Warrick Dunn Charities, but we are a public charity. Most people think I just write the check, but we actually take public funds. But our signature program is called Homes for the Holidays, where we help single parents become first-time homeowners, and that's giving them $5,000 down payment, but also fully furnishing their homes from food, furniture, linens, TVs, computers, toothbrushes. Pretty much we get the family to the point all they have to do is bring their clothes. So we've been doing this program now for 18 years. We're up to 145 single parents, and not just single moms, but we also help single fathers as well. So we've expanded not just in Tampa, Atlanta, Baton Rouge, and Tallahassee, but now we're in Phoenix, Arizona, Topeka, Kansas, Dallas, Texas, Lafayette, Louisiana, Jacksonville, Florida, Baltimore, Newark, New Jersey. We have plans to go to Chicago. So this is a program that's near and dear to my heart. And how we came about of this program is that in 1997, when I was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Coach Tony Dungy at the time was like, if you guys are going to live in this community, you want to give back to the community. And I needed to figure out what I wanted to do in the Tampa Bay market. And I thought about my mama, her dream of home ownership. She never had that opportunity to own her own home. And I wanted to live out my mom's dream through other single parents. So that's how the program was birthed. And we're still up and running today. And we do homes in Tallahassee. This is home. I always come back home. So.
Now, folks, we've got some folks who are going to pass out. There's some cards for Warrick Dunn Charities, and I kind of want to challenge you. We all spend all this money to go to these ball games. I'd like everybody here to think of it. It's a giving season. If you would contribute just the cost of one football ticket, and all of you did that, let's let Warrick Dunn, and he sees everybody that contributed. He sees the names. Randy and Bob, we got the cards? Where are our cards? All right, guys, let's start. Andrew, help them. We're going to pass these cards out. Take a card. You can't contribute right now. Put it in your pocket. Actually do this. If you think a lot of Warrick Dunn, let him see how much you appreciate what he does and be part of that. All right, cards are going out right here. So keep the cards and letters coming. Put one in your pocket. And all of you can contribute the cost of a football ticket, and many of you contribute the cost of maybe a couple of families of football tickets. But let's help Warrick Dunn with Warrick Dunn Charities. Let him know it.
Okay, can I just interject for a second?
Yes, sir.
Is that I'm a family guy, and I know I brought my sister and my nephew and my niece, Caden. My little nephew.
You got to see this little fella.
Caden.
Hey, good. Caden, come up here.
He's a future Seminole, trust me.
Where are the girls, Warrick? All right.
That's my niece. She's so small. She's bad, trust me. She's bad.
All right, but Caden, do you like the Seminoles, Caden?
Yes.
Caden, are you looking forward to seeing the horse and the rider?
Yes.
I think Caden's got a future in television. What do y'all think?
Doug, just one thing. I know we were talking about the charity. Over the years, my nephew has started his own little charity that my sister, of course, my sister is really behind it, but it's called Caden's Way. And what Caden has done over the last few years is that for his birthday, instead of getting birthday presents, he's raised money for the charities, and he's outfitted a room, a kid's room, every year for the charities. So he sponsored a room, so
And this is fall, but I want you to meet Warwick's sister, Summer. Anyway, thank you for bringing the family. Folks, it's been a lot of fun today. I think we've got the fellow that I call the most beloved Seminole here today. Thank you all for coming. Let's give a great hand for Warrick Dunn.